just stuck on this one part. This sounds pretty interesting. An onion tart with anchovies and black olives. This is Jamie and Julia.
Oh! Bon appetit.
Dust off your favorite cookbook, only if it's this cookbook, Mastering the Art of French Cooking. So there is a recipe in here today that, well, listen to this. Pissaladière niçoise. Did I get that right? I've been practicing for the last 5 minutes. This is not a quiche, properly speaking, because it contains no eggs. In Nice, it is made either in a pastry shell or on a flat round of bread dough, like the Italian pizza. Pissaladière. It's like a cooking technique that uses all these ingredients that you're gonna find in the south of France. Onions, anchovies, black olives. Now we're just gonna quickly step out of the wonderful world of this cookbook for a second, because I recently made a pastry dough using the recipe in this cookbook, and I found it to be very easy to follow and pretty much foolproof, so I just want to recreate what I did for the chicken pot pie. Is that okay? This is the way to cook. We'll return to this cookbook very shortly. Okay, you will need 1 food processor, 1.5 cups, 210 grams of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup, 70 grams of cake flour, teaspoon of salt. This is a 1.5 sticks of chilled butter. It's 6 ounces, 170 grams worth. Diced it all up into these like 1/2-inch little cubes. In it goes. All right, we need to do 5 or 6 very quick pulses, 1/2-second intervals. In goes 1/4 cup of chilled vegetable shortening. Pulse it, 1, 2. This is 1/2 cup, 118 milliliters of ice water. We gotta stream this in while the machine is running. And if I don't wanna add it all, I don't need to. Don't feel obligated. But yeah, it's gonna be like running, like on. Pulse 2 or 3 more times. Press it together, you can create a mass. Check. Turn the dough out rapidly and roughly with the heel of your hand. Smear it. Push egg-sized clumps away from you 5 or 6 times. That is the final blending of the fats and the flour, and we got ourselves a pastry dough. Forming the dough into a cake, into plastic wrap. Julia's very specific here. Wrap it in plastic and a Ziploc bag. Makes no difference to me. All right, that's gonna hang out in there for 2 hours. Some onions. What is it? 2 pounds worth? Which to my understanding would be around 5 onions, give or take. But I need to dice these up. I'm gonna do it fairly finely, but not finely enough for some of you, I'm sure. Obviously, there's gonna be some tears. That's okay. It doesn't really bother me at all, quite frankly. It's just fleeting and it's gone. You get a little emotional. It's fine, comes with the territory. Anytime I mention any of this though, there's a bunch of you that feel compelled to send me a barrage of onion hacks on how to avoid tears. So for entertainment purposes, I am going to implement 3 of them. So first onion hack, soak a kitchen towel and then I'm going to put it right next to the cutting board so that whatever scientific stuff is coming out of the onions going into my eyes, it's gonna go right into here, hopefully. Second hack, a toothpick. Just like that, I guess. And third hack, is to stand up straight and not have my face leaning over the cutting board. Then that onion stuff gets right in your eyes. What is that onion stuff again? Enzymes and sulfenic acid when the skin is pierced. Just cut the slices right through to the stem and a couple of slices through like this, and then away we go. I've had so many people tell me, well, why don't you put like swimming goggles or onion cutting goggles on? But it's like, do I really want to be wearing those in a video? No, I'd just rather cry, thank you very much. I'm sure you guys will tell me a whole bunch of new hacks I've never heard before. And yeah, let's just get the engagement going on this video. Send me all the hacks if you want. Just like biting onto the toothpick, like clenching it between my teeth. Okay, toothpick doesn't work. And then 1 community mince, please. When slicing up onions, the best hack I found was a really sharp knife. Really sharp. And my knife is only, it's moderately sharp. If you don't mind, since we're giving out hacks right now, why don't I give you one about storing your parsley in the fridge? I found this out. If I keep my parsley, which I've had for like nearly 2 weeks now, if I got it in a jar here with some water covering the stem ends, and I keep the plastic bag over top of it while it's in the fridge, it preserves it. For how long? I'm not sure. Anyway, what I need is a herb bouquet of herbs. Got just a little bit of cheesecloth. Dampen the cheesecloth. Add in 4 sprigs of parsley. She says half a bay leaf. I'm gonna use a full one because I'm never gonna tell the difference between a half and a full anyway. And I'll take a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme in there as well. Wrap it all up tightly. Voila. We go to the stove. So I need some sort of pan here, some sort of thing that's gonna be big enough to hold all these onions. I figure this will do the job quite nicely. How's it going, Charlie Brown? Around 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Like on a low heat. Add in my diced onions. Herb bouquet. 2 cloves of garlic. And around half a teaspoon of salt. Come here, Chuck. So I'm gonna cook this low and slow for around an hour till it becomes tender. I'm gonna stir it throughout. And what does that heat look like? Like a medium low? I'll gauge it as I go along. And the other thing is I don't need to cover it or anything, just leave it like this. Okay, it's dough time. Probably be a good idea to get a little flour on there. Check in those onions, keep them stirring. And here we go. Pound it until it's rollable. This is the longest I've ever maintained like a perfect circle of dough. So I need to roll this out rapidly until it's around, what? She says 1/8 of an inch thick. Yeah, okay. So I got a quiche pan here that is, into, yes. Press down on the sides to make them even thicker. That's a good idea. Wow, I've never heard this kind of technique before. Now we take the rolling pin and, all right, now do that. Pushing the sides up now. Decorative pattern with the dull side of a knife. And with the fork, prick the bottom in 1/4 inch intervals. Get this into the fridge for half an hour to relax the dough. How are these onions? Looking good. Everything's great. Maybe even got some leftover pastry for a rainy day. It has been nearly an hour cooking these onions, and they have become translucent and started to turn color a little bit. I've been snooping around online looking at other examples of this dish and what other people are doing. Most of them have the onions like very caramelized, very much golden brown, and these are far away from that. So I think it would be best to just keep this cooking low, keep it cooking slow until I get what I want. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I'm willing to wait until it happens. The dough is looking relaxed, as she says. It looks chilled. Aluminum foil, raw chickpeas that I'm gonna use as a pie weight. The oven's at 450 and I'm gonna bake this for 15 minutes like this. well, pre-bake it, or whatever you call it, blind bake it, onto a very hot pizza tray I already have in the oven. Once the bottom is set and still very soft, and the sides look good, prick the bottom again. This goes back into the oven for a few minutes until it starts to turn a little color. It's been 2 hours, and these onions have caramelized, and they've turned a nice golden color to them. I would love to push them even darker, but the problem is, well, there's no problem. I just don't want to keep waiting. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be easier to get what I wanted if these onions were sliced rather than minced or diced. So I'm going to remove the herb bouquet and also the garlic. There's 2 of them in there. There it is. Crack in 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, pinch of ground cloves. Just to be safe, a little more salt too. How about that? Okay, so here are some of my ingredients. Firstly, I have some Kalamata olives. They have been pitted. They are the Mediterranean type, although Julia kind of specifies you want the dry Mediterranean type. And I know what she's after. That's not what this is, but these are pretty damn nice. And I need anchovy fillets. So when I went to the store, naturally I picked up these first. Sardines. Poor purchase. Went back to the store and got what I really needed. These are anchovy fillets, and they are tinned as specified in the book. You picked a poor time to start vacuuming. In the pastries, start with the caramelized onions. And that, my friends, is a perfect fit. Let's crack open the anchovies. These have been soaking in olive oil, which I think is completely fine because I'm going to be drizzling olive oil on top anyway. Let's do some sort of decorative thing here. And I was just reading up that you do not need to remove the anchovy bones because, well, they're nothing, you know? Apparently they have good calcium. Sorry, I just missed this. A fan-shaped design. Okay, so we need it in a fan-shaped design. I gotcha. I believe this is a fan-shaped design. And then I think an olive right in the center would be nice. And then place the olives at decorative intervals. And lastly, we just drizzle olive oil on top, about a tablespoon worth. That's it. Oven's preheated to 400F, and I gotta bake this for not that long, 10 to 15 minutes, until it's bubbling hot. Upper part of the oven. And then let's figure out how to get it out of that quiche thing. Whoa. And for my last trick, which is my most difficult trick, removing the sides of this pan. It's just stuck on this one part. Opa! Order up! Here we go. It just kind of gives off the vibe that you should be eating it with your hands. I don't know. I can't stop eating this. I think eating around half of this thing is enough to base my judgment on. At least give it a fair critique. This thing was great. Interesting combination, but I'm all for it. On the sweeter side with the onions, and then the saltier side with the anchovies and the olives. There's like a briny taste with the anchovies as well. Olives are just well, you know, olives. And then with a nice pastry shell to boot. The Pissaladière, I love to say that word, was a success. This is Jamie and Julia. Bon appetit. Au revoir. Pissaladière. 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 I'm practicing. Pissaladière.